Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Ascendant Hearts on Nintendo Switch. When I reach the tavern area, my gaze goes straight to Aiko's usual table. This time, it's occupied. Aiko. I hurry over to her. Where were you yesterday? I cut off as soon as I realized she isn't alone.
Hi, Mr. Hayato.
Hi?
Hayato, this is my sister, Yumi.
I didn't know you had a sister.
Yeah, she still lives at home with our parents.
That makes sense. She looks too young to be on her own.
Since we have to wait to see what will happen with Takachi, I went home for a visit yesterday and Yumi asked to come back with me. I couldn't wait to meet all of Aiko's new adventurer friends, especially you, Mr. Hayato.
You can just call me Hayato. No need to be so formal. And wait, you wanted to meet me?
Oh yes, Aiko writes about you in her letters all the time. She... I write about everyone, of course. Now stop bothering him, Yumi. Aww.
She wasn't bothering me.
Anyway, I didn't think there would be any harm in having her here for a few days.
Chise was looking for you yesterday.
What? Chise was?
She wanted to talk to all of us about preparing for whatever will happen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said something before I left.
It's fine.
As soon as we're done eating, I'll find her and apologize.
That proves to be a simple task. Once we finish breakfast, the three of us head outside, where Shiori and Chise are talking by the fountain.
Definitely good to practice, but we need to consider...
They stop as we approach.
Good morning. I'm so sorry I left yesterday without saying anything. I just wanted to go home and visit my family while things were still calm. I see. It all worked out. But in the future, you should be more careful. Yes. You must be Miss Chise. You're not as scary as I expected you to be. Excuse me? Aiko said... I told Yumi how strong and capable you are in battle, and she must have misunderstood.
She shoots her sister a glare, but Yumi appears to be distracted by a flock of birds flying above town, jumping up and down as though she might reach them.
She's my sister. Don't worry. She's only going to be here for a few days. Then I'll take her back home.
Good. If she's not an adventurer, she'll be in danger if the Dark Wolves attack while she's here.
Maybe we should go back home today. With all of us around to protect her, a short visit can't hurt. Huh? You almost sound like you want her to stay. Well, if I had a family, I'd want to see them as often as possible. I'd start to miss them, even if I enjoyed time alone. Yeah.
The ache from yesterday returns. I have a family back in my world, but I don't remember the sort of affection I see between Aiko and her sister, or the same sort of loneliness as Shiori describes. Instead, I remember the loneliness of being unwanted. What was that thought from my dream? If only I was the son they wanted.
Oh.
Yumi abruptly stops watching the birds fly away and stares at Shiori instead.
Is that Miss Chise? Then you must be Miss Shiori. Aiko told me all about you. Oh, really? Yeah, she said you're almost as scary as Miss Chise sometimes, but even though you might be a traitor, you're actually really quite nice and... Yumi, didn't you say you wanted to see the church? Huh? I didn't... Well, we'd better hurry so we can get there before it closes. But churches don't close.
Ignoring her sister's protest, Aiko grabs her by the hand and tugs her off in the direction of the church.
Really quite nice. Almost as scary as Miss Chise. Seriously though, Aiko actually thinks I'm nice? I thought she hated me. Why am I the baseline for scariness?
I can't help but laugh. I have a feeling Aiko might regret having her sister visit.
Huh. Well, I'm off to work on strategies. I guess I'll take on a few quests. Hayato, what about...
Oh, I think we want to hang out with Shiori more. I'll go with you. I could use the practice.
Great, let's go then.
As we chose a few basic quests that should help us train, Shiori watches me from the corner of her eye. At last, I can't stand it anymore. What?
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering if you're okay.
Shouldn't I be?
You've been zoning out lately. I've noticed it a few times now.
It's nothing. I've had some odd dreams, that's all.
Dreams?
About my world.
Oh,
So your memory is starting to return? At least a little. She looks unexpectedly disheartened by the news, but before I can question her about it, she gives herself a shake and claps her fist into her palm. What are we standing around here for? We have questing to do. It's another busy day. I want to get back to the inn that evening. I'm once again spared any dreams of home. On the third day since we met Takachi, Aiko and Yumi back home after she says her goodbyes to us. I'm glad there weren't any attacks while she was here. Yeah, it's been pretty peaceful lately. Do you think that means Takachi is guilty after all? It's too early to say. I guess we'll just have to keep waiting then. And preparing. It's been a week since we left Takachi with High Cleric Ninsei. The Dark Wolves still haven't attacked. While the Guildmaster and Dr. Takizawa search for more areas where those flowers thrive, with some help from Nisei's resources, the rest of us do our best to prepare for a climactic confrontation. Whether the culprit is Takachi or someone else, we don't get through this without a battle. When I reach the tavern area, Shiori waves at me from a nearby table. She's joined me for breakfast there several times over the past week, so we can discuss our current progress and plans for the day. I join her. Good morning. Morning. Something seems off. She's more subdued than usual. Although she has a plate of food in front of her, she pokes at it with her fork instead of eating it. Is something wrong? I've been thinking. About what? Back when all this started, you said I'd win the townspeople's trust if I saved them from the Dark Wolves. I don't think that's true. How could they mistrust you after that? Easy. They'll say I wasn't a traitor for this quest, but I'll be for another one. That's ridiculous. She shrugs. It's how things are. Life follows patterns, and people get so used to those patterns, they judge you because of them. It shouldn't be that way. Things are different in your world? Well, I hesitate, not sure how I should answer that. It's okay if you can't remember. No, it's not that. Where I come from, our lives don't follow patterns in the same way. No one would credibly claim you're destined to betray people, or that Aiko is doomed to die, or that Chisei can find a savior by searching for archetypes. But that doesn't mean no one is judged unfairly. Really? People mistrust each other for all sorts of reasons. Just by being who you are, some people will make assumptions about you. Huh, I guess people are the same everywhere. Not everyone is like that, though. And not everyone here thinks I'm untrustworthy. You don't. I have no reason to mistrust you. That makes me happy. You make me happy. She holds my gaze for a second longer, then looks away. She awkwardly clears her throat. Do you, want to go for a walk once you're done eating? A walk? Yes, it'll give us time to think and talk, and just spend some time together. Oh, are we doing this? Yeah, sure. Great. I get my breakfast and we eat quickly. Once we're done, she already stands up and leads the way out of the inn. Feels like such a long time ago that I found you being attacked by the monsters here. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on. And now look at you. You're a true adventurer, fighting to save Lightshire. Well, thanks to you. I'm glad I could help you out that day. Me too. A few adventurers whisper and murmur as we pass, but we leave them far behind. Have you thought about what you'll do after all this is over? A little, but I don't have an answer yet. If it's possible to return to your own world, will you? I'm not sure. She laughs and shakes her head. You never make things easy, do you? I laugh too, but her words remind me I'll need to make up my mind eventually. Should I stay here in a world that still feels so strange to me, or should I return to a world that I know, but where I was lonely? It's not a guarantee I'll even be able to go back, but if the opportunity arises, I'll need to decide. A light breeze ruffles Shiori's hair, and we reach the riverside. It's so peaceful here. It is. She sighs. You know, I'm not sure I could go back to being a loner now, even if I wanted to. I've gotten used to having party members, having friends. That's a good thing. I know, but I'm afraid one day it might all disappear. That won't happen. She sighs again and fixes me with a serious stare. You might disappear. You said so yourself. You haven't made up your mind yet. Her words make me reel back. I'd considered how leaving this world would take me away from the friend I made here, but I never really thought about how they'd feel. I'm not sure how to respond, but I opened my mouth to try anyway. There you are. Brad runs towards us across the field and waves his hand. Sorry to interrupt. I let out a long breath. Don't worry about it.
What's up?
The guildmaster wants to see your party immediately. He says he found something. Let's go. The guildmaster paces while Shiori and I wait. Dr. Takizawa looks nearby with a folder in his arms. From time to time, he opens it and scans pages covered in notes. Finally, the door opens. Aiko and Chise walk in. We're here. What's the situation? We might have found our culprit, Dr. Takizawa. I'll let you take it from here. The scientist bows his head in acknowledgement and opens his notes. We have located an ancient castle, long since abandoned, at least according to the official record. Monsters surround it and chase off anyone who tries to approach. They appear to be guarding it. He closes the folder and smiles. However, my airships have allowed for aerial reconnaissance. While flowers grow around the castle far greater numbers than they do either at the Sacred Spring or Takichi's home. If nothing else, we have found a vast source of ascendant magic. Really? That's great news. Where is it? To the south of Lightshire, approximately... What? The scientist sniffs, apparently displeased at being interrupted. Which part did you fail to grasp? The part about it being to the south. I've studied the dark wolves. They come from the north. Ah, that's where we've all been deceived. Dark wolves themselves originate from colder regions to our northeast, but that doesn't necessarily mean the person who commands them lives there. Oh. Exactly. Now, the castle is a moderate distance from Lightshire, roughly the same distance as from here to Highwater in the north. However, it is not nearly as easy to reach, because it is surrounded by high mountains. Another way to deter visitors. Yes, fortunately, through the power of science, by which I mean my airship, you should be able to reach it. We all look at one another. Well, I guess we should check it out then. Of course, there's no guarantee we'll find the Dark Wolves Master there. However, Dr. Takizawa and I agree it's at least worth looking into. The door to his office suddenly flies open. Sorry to interrupt. Brad looks exhausted as he gasps for breath as he speaks. I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? Oh, I think we could all use some good news. Takechi is probably innocent. In that case, I'd assume the bad news is the Dark Wolves are attacking. Yes, in greater numbers than before. We all follow Brad outside, but it's worse than I imagined. Countless Dark Wolves prowl the streets of Lightshire, adventurers fighting them everywhere I look, but more keep coming. Fortunately, most combatants are now nowhere to be seen, although a few civilians peek out from their windows. No, we can't handle an attack like this. Don't give up yet. You have a plan? Instead of answering, Dr. Takizawa turns to Brad. You there, I must return to my lab immediately, and I cannot fight. Kindly escort me through this chaos. What, now? Yes, now. Quickly, the power of science will save the day. Although Brad looks startled, he nods. He and the scientist hurry towards the edge of town together. A few well-placed arrows keep the Dark Wolves from harrying them too much, but a few still break away from the group to chase them. If Dr. Takizawa was on his own, he wouldn't stand a chance. Why are there so many of them? Grr. One of the Dark Wolves lunges for us. I draw my sword and strike. It's an automatic reflex, which much different than my panicked reaction to the monsters when I first arrived in Lightshire. Another slash takes it out, and Shiori defeats another to our right. But there are too many for us to defeat them all. This is bad. Nah, you think? How could our enemies somehow know we're getting close to finding them? That's what I'm afraid of. Remember, we're dealing with someone who can communicate with monsters. If our enemy's ascendant magic is strong enough, they might be able to get reports on our activities from any monsters in the area. But there aren't any monsters in town. It must be the castle. We all turn to him. What do you mean? When Dr. Takizawa used his airship technology for aerial reconnaissance, whoever is in that castle must have noticed. Either they followed him or correctly deduced we were responsible. Then it must be the right place. Yes, it looks like our only hope is for you to get to the castle and... He cuts himself off with a sharp cry as more Dark Wolves come charging towards us. Come on. Chise and I attack one with our blades, while Aiko and Shiori bombard the second with magic. The second were finished, however. Seriously? There are too many of them. My poor Lightshire, these poor people, all doomed to share Mira's fate. This is no time to fall to pieces, sir. The Guildmaster steps back and shakes his head. While the four of us fight the Dark Wolves, they fall after a few minutes, but we can't keep this up forever. I think our enemy simply plans to overwhelm us and destroy Lightshire now. Then get out of here. Head to the castle while there's still time.
What about you?
I'll be fine, just... His protest falls flat as another group of Dark Wolves nearly knocks him down. They stalk around the Guildmaster and eye him with such calculating gazes, it makes my blood run cold. The Dark Wolves look at him not the way rampaging monsters look at a potential victim, but more like the way an assassin looks at a target. Do they know who he is? Do they know how important he is to the town and to the entire adventuring system? Do they know everything he's done has been to stop them? Whatever the reason, this group of Dark Wolves is after him. Shiori steps forward but stops. They're so close to the Guildmaster. Any magic she or Aiko tries will risk hitting him. Chise springs forward. She distracts from the monsters, but the others prepare to spring. I draw my sword and leap into the fray. You should get to safety. But the Guildmaster's expression darkens and his shoulders tense. I won't run. Not from them. I refuse to run. His gaze starts around. Nearby, a wounded adventurer limps past us on her way to the town hall. And the Guildmaster grabs her sheathed sword as she passes. She stares at him in shock, but he ignores her and dives at the Dark Wolves. You'll pay for what you did. In a way, it's inspiring to watch the Guildmaster fight to protect his town. On the other hand, it's obvious he isn't used to fighting. He's holding his own for now, but it won't take much for the Dark Wolves to gain the upper.
Come on!
With the ring of monsters around the Guildmaster broken, she has a clear field for her magic. Aiko hangs back to heal us, but still strikes an occasional monster with a blast of light. Chise and I fight alongside the Guildmaster and defeat our enemies one by one. But they keep coming. New Dark Wolves replace those we defeated almost instantly.
I'm not sure how much more of this we can take. Yeah!
We need to get to the castle.
We can't leave you here.
Even if we wanted to leave the Guildmaster to fend for himself, I'm not sure we could. There are too many Dark Wolves. No matter what we do, no matter how long we fight, they keep coming. Huh? The Dark Wolves fighting us all fall to the ground, cut down by a massive sword. Looks like you could use a little help.
Takachi?
Dr. Takezawa used some sort of experimental communication device to get in touch with us and explain the situation.
Then High Cleric Ninsei used his summoning magic to send us here.
Ninsei's summoning magic? At least it got him to the right location, unlike when he tried to summon me.
This is the sort of opening we need. Takachi and Kasumi can help defend the town while we get to the castle and put an end to this once and for all. I agree. Yes, we need to stop the person responsible before anyone else gets hurt.
I wish you luck. End this. Save Lightshire. Avenge Mira.
We will.
Don't worry, we'll handle things here.
Please keep everyone safe.
You four worry about yourselves. Don't die out there. Wish I could say the same to you. Let's do this. With the town's defense in good hands, we gather together and fight our way to the airship so we can leave the besieged town and hunt down the culprit. Soon, we're high in the sky above the chaos. I feel a little guilty about leaving the battlefield, but this is our best shot at helping.
South, right? That's right. With our airship, it shouldn't be a long trip. I never thought I'd say this, but thank the gods for Dr. Takezawa.
Shiori chuckles. I think you're finally starting to come around. It's a funny feeling. We wouldn't have been able to do this without the mad scientist. For that matter, we might not have made it this far without the Guildmaster and High Cleric Ninsei either. We were stuck in losing battle against the Dark Wolves until Takachi and Kasumi arrived. Is it weird having every single person we accused of commanding the Dark Wolves become an important ally?
Not really.
Encounters with a hero can do that to people. But that's it?
I'm not sure I like that. It makes it sound like they wouldn't be good people on their own.
Well, think of it any way you like. We fly in silence for a while longer until high mountain peaks come into view. Like Dr. Takezawa said, steep slopes hide and protect the castle. In every patch of grass, and even in cracks between rocks, white flowers grow. Monsters lurk around the castle, and they must see our approach, but we can't turn back now. For the sake of the town, we have to take our airship down there and infiltrate the castle. We fight our way through the monsters at the entrance. Inside, the castle is dark and looks old, but at least it isn't as overly sinister as the temple of Basal. Where do we go now? Deeper into the castle, until we can find the person responsible. We don't have enough time to search the entire castle. Lightshire needs our help now. Think about it logically. Our enemy is the master of this place. Unless they're afraid of us, they won't hide in a random corner. You mean they're probably in the old throne room or living quarters? Or in a meeting room? Or a good place to set up an ambush? Doesn't that open up all the possibilities again? Yes, but it gives us viable options to search first. Follow me. I shrug and follow her down the corridor. We have to start searching somewhere, after all. Shiori and Aiko walk just behind us, although Aiko pauses from time to time to look around nervously. The castle feels eerily quiet. I wonder how many monsters have been sent out to attack Lightshire. At least it makes things easier for us. Suddenly, the ground trembles. Don't tell me we're having an earthquake. It happens again, but this time there's a clear thump up ahead, as if something very heavy struck the ground. Everyone, stay alert. I draw my sword. We all creep forward together as the sound and tremors continue. What the... You know, I think I'd prefer the earthquake. The dragon rears back and lets out a roar loud enough to shake the walls. Jets of fire shoot out of its mouth and narrowly miss Aiko, who jumps out of the way with a cry. Aim for his weak spots. She darts forward to illustrate her point, but the dragon doesn't appear to have any weak spots. When she dodges its stomping feet to slash at its stomach, her daggers barely leave a scratch. When she evades another stream of fire to attack its neck, her blade rebounds after the first strike. She even tries to hit its eye, but one snap of its powerful jaws force her to retreat. What weak spots? Yeah, it must be weak to elemental damage. One by one, Shiori tries each of her spells against the dragon, but the mighty creature shrugs them off as if they were nothing. Light? Her light magic proves just as ineffective. Don't tell me this thing is invulnerable. No, it's not invulnerable. We've done enough damage to annoy it. That's not comforting. Sure enough, the dragon seems irritated by our presence. It tries again to hit us with its fire, and we barely get out of the way in time. It is comforting. It proves we can hurt it. Sure, it'll only take 1,000,000 hits. We just need more power. There isn't exactly a shop in here for us to buy weapons at. She rolls her eyes and waves her hand dismissively as if to question why she's even talking to me. Instead, she turns to Shiori and Aiko. You two get what I'm saying, right? Oh my gods, you can't be serious. Dead serious. We need as much power as possible. Right here? Right now? The dragon roars and swipes forward with its claws. I reflexively tried to parry with my sword, but all that does is make my arms shake from the impact. Yes, right here, right now. So I take it you guys have a plan? Without warning, all three of them begin undressing. Wait a minute. Facing down a dragon in an ancient castle really doesn't seem like the right time or place to take off your clothes, but they're doing it anyway. There's no time for objections. Yeah, as much as I hate it, she's right. This is our only chance. Only chance for what? To defeat the dragon. I look at them all in confusion. Are they hoping to distract the dragon? Even if that works, it'll still take countless attacks to bring it down. I don't think Hayato understands. I assume his world doesn't work this way. What way? Have you ever taken a good look at high-level equipment? No, I cut off, startled as Aiko strikes the dragon with her light magic. This time the dragon cries out and stumbles backwards. Huh? She couldn't do that a minute ago. You would assume that having more armor is a good thing, but your power level actually rises dramatically the more revealing your outfit is. What? Why? That's just how things work. The gods must have decided it. Sometimes I think your gods are a bunch of perverts. Even as I say it, I glance around nervously. Maybe I shouldn't insult the gods in a world where they can decide on a whim if I respond or die for real. Be that as it may, they're equal opportunity perverts. What? You need to help us. What? Stop wasting time and take off your clothes. This feels ridiculous, but Shiori looks like she might do it for me if I don't move quickly, so I quickly strip off my clothes. I do not feel more powerful. Staring down at an enraged dragon while naked is something I never want to do again. Is everyone ready now? Let's go. To my shock, it actually works. Aiko isn't the only one with newfound success. Shiori spells Torment the Dragon, Chisei strikes Cripplet, and my sword strikes down the massive monster as easily as if it were a tiny whammer. The dragon falls, and we're left in an exhausted silence. Everyone slowly gets dressed again. There is no logical reason why that should have worked.
Well, it does.
Why does everyone wear armor then?
Armor does improve your defense.
Besides, it would be so embarrassing if adventurers didn't wear clothes.
That's why high-level armor is often pretty skimpy. You get the best of both worlds, high defense and increased power.
That makes no sense at all, but sure, why not?
Let's take a quick break. The dragon was probably guarding something important. If there's anything you want to do before the final confrontation, you should do it now.
We've gotten ready for the final confrontation so many times already, it feels almost silly. But our situation makes our words hit home. We're alone in a castle filled with ascendant magic. Dark wolves are attacking Lightshire in greater numbers than ever before. This is it. Shiori goes a short distance away and paces back and forth. Aiko shifts from foot to foot for a moment, then sits down against the wall and covers her face. Chisei walks to the end of the corridor and stares around the corner. None of them look like they're ready to face whatever awaits up. None of them look like they're ready to face whatever awaits us up ahead. Well, like I said, we're trying to encourage Shiori during this playthrough, so let's talk to Shiori. I walk over to Shiori. Everything all right?
Everything's fine.
Okay. She continues to pace. I try to think of something to say to break the awkward silence. We sure have come a long way from those first few quests we took on together.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. She abruptly stops pacing and turns to me.
You know I'm not a traitor, right?
What? I thought we got past this a long time ago.
If anyone else heard about this, they'd expect me to change sides right about now. If you got this far without the traitor revealing herself, surely she'll betray you in the final battle. No one would trust me. I'd be on my own.
With a frustrated sigh, I put my hand on her shoulder. Even with everything I've learned about this world, I see no reason to think you're the traitor.
So then...
I trust you.
Thank you.
She takes a deep breath.
All right, I'm ready for this.
We all spend a few minutes in silence gathering our thoughts. Finally, we're ready to go. Our party heads deeper into the castle to finally learn what awaits us and who is behind the attacks on Lightshire. At last, we reach what appears to be the castle's throne room. It's in better shape than the rest of the castle and largely free of dust. Someone's been using it. I half expect to see an evil king on the throne, but it's empty. Silence hangs over the room.
Are we alone? I don't know. I feel like I'm being watched. Everyone, stay alert.
We slowly walk forward. As we approach the throne, the doors behind us slam shut. What the?
Aiko gasps and runs back. She pushes on each door without success and shakes her head. They're locked.
Of course they're locked. I jump. The soft voice comes from the front of the throne room. The slender figure steps out from behind the throne.
Did you think I'd give you a chance to escape? Who are you?
The girl ignores Chisei's question and looks at me instead.
So it really is you. Hello again. Hayato, you know this girl?
I open my mouth to say no, but pause. Something about her tugs at my thoughts. I meet the stranger's piercing gaze and take a step back. I do know her. We've met before. The memory floods back and I clutch my head.
You seem unhappy.
Who are you?
Are you lonely?
I
want to be your friend. Won't you be my friend?
Who are you?
I come from another world. It's all right. I know how you feel. I'm lonely too.
Another world? You expect me to believe that?
It doesn't matter if you believe it now. If you want to go with me, tell me. I will summon you to my world.
Why would you do that?
I told you, I'm lonely. I don't have any friends.
Why not?
Because people are cruel. They judge what they don't understand and cast people out for their differences.
Yeah, you've got that right.
Then you do understand. I can tell you're different. You will be my friend and I will be yours. Please?
Oh, come on. Things like this don't happen in the real world. If you want to be friends, I guess we could try. But all that stuff about going to another world, it's not possible.
If it was possible, would you do it?
Well, what does it matter?
If I'm lying, nothing will happen when I summon you. But if I'm telling the truth, you'll come to another world. What do you have to lose?
Fine, sure. Take me to another world.
Ah, I'm so glad. I'll see you soon, my friend.
I stare at the girl in shock. You came to my world. You asked if I wanted to come here.
So, you remember me now.
Huh? You brought Hayato to our world? Again, this girl ignores everyone but me.
I was so happy to finally have a friend, but when I summoned you, something went wrong. You never came. It was the first time I ever tried to summon someone from another world, so I thought I failed. When I heard your description from my dark wolves, I couldn't believe it. This castle is the same distance away from Lightshire that Highwater is.
What?
By some weird twist of fate, she and High Cleric Lindsay must have cast their summoning spells at the same time. His spell caught you, and as each summon pulled on you, you were finally deposited right between the two. And then you turned against me.
I don't understand. Why are you attacking Lightshire? Who are... The words catch in my throat and I stare into her face. I've seen that face somewhere recently. More recently than our forgotten meeting in my world. No. It's not possible. The face is the same. You're Mira, aren't you?
Yes, that is my name.
You're the Guildmaster's sister.
What? I'm surprised you've heard of me.
I shake my head, hardly able to believe it, even though I was the first to recognize her. The Guildmaster said his sister died in the first attack. Was he lying? His story His story is what made us stop suspecting him, after all. No, that can't be. He seems so motivated, spurred on by thoughts of revenge. When we left Lightshire, he was trying to fight alongside everyone else. He couldn't have faked all that.
The Guildmaster's sister? Yes, now I see. I thought your face looked familiar, but why? But I didn't know why. But if you're his sister, why are you attacking Lightshire? The Guildmaster loves that town. All the more reason for me to attack it.
The vehemence in her voice makes me take another step back. This doesn't make any sense. And then I stop myself. He might believe she died, but that's not exactly what he said. The first time the Dark Wolves came, no one knew what was happening. They came out of nowhere, an entire pack, and attacked Lightshire. When they finally left, the townspeople were relieved to report no casualties, except for one girl who disappeared. When the Dark Wolves attacked the first time, all those years ago, Mira vanished. The Guildmaster asked people to form a search party, but they wouldn't listen. They told him she must be dead, and he devoted himself to avenging her. But if Mira commands the Dark Wolves, have you been responsible for all the attacks, even the very first one?
Does it matter?
Tell me.
I see what you're thinking. She was a victim of the first attack. Perhaps not such a victim after all. Despite the sinister name humans gave them, Dark Wolves have always been content to live alongside people in harmony. They would never have thought to attack Lightshire on their own.
So she ordered the first attack. I think through what must have happened next. From everything we've seen, her Ascendant magic is extremely powerful. She can communicate with monsters to a degree no one else is capable of today. She orchestrated her own disappearance. She made a mistake in her instructions. She made a mistake in her instructions? But something must have gone wrong that day. So the Dark Wolves misunderstood your instructions about the first attack and captured you. Even if I say it, it doesn't feel right. Mira shakes her head. Scorn fills her voice.
Stupid. How could they misunderstand me that badly? They captured me because I asked them to. But why? Why do you care? You don't seem like a bad person to me. Huh.
Not a bad person? I don't think I'd go that far. The Dark Wolves kill people on her orders.
Yes, I made that clear to them. But why would you hurt people like that? It's better than the pathetic wretches in Lightshire deserve.
Bitterness and anger course through every word. She didn't make this decision lightly. Something happened to make her hate Lightshire, even though it's her own hometown and the place where her brother still lives.
What did they do to you to make you want to destroy them?
Mira glances at her briefly, then returns her gaze to me.
I'll let the traitor answer.
Traitor?
Every party needs a traitor, doesn't it?
What makes me a traitor?
You need to ask? You said you would come to my world to be my friend, but here you are fighting against me.
When I met her in my world, I didn't know anything about what she was up to. If she greeted me with, "I'm lonely and I'm trying to destroy a small town with a pack of monstrous wolves," my response to her would have been much different. What you're doing is wrong. Besides, even if I didn't care about that, I had amnesia when I woke up in Lightshire. Until I saw you just now, I didn't remember meeting you.
Amnesia? How cliché.
What does that have to do with anything? It's not like I lost my memories on purpose.
Is that really the best excuse you can come up with? He's telling the truth. He knew he was from another world, but that's it.
But why are we telling you this?
Stop the attacks or we'll stop you.
He actually had amnesia? But why? She ignores the rest of Shiori's comments as if she didn't hear it. I suspect the dual summon is to blame. With 2 spells pulling on him in each direction, they must have scrambled his brains. That's a comforting thought.
Bah, fine. So you didn't betray me. I'll give you another chance.
To join her crusade against Lightshire? No, thank you.
Why do you think I want to destroy them?
I blink in surprise. How am I supposed to guess her motives? It's been bothering me ever since I realized who she was. Why would she attack her own town? Everyone looks at me, and I can tell Chise is also trying to work through the question. Shiori looks too angry to care. Aiko just seems unhappy. I rub my head and try to concentrate. Yara hates Lightshire. Why? What made her want to destroy it? And why did she fake her disappearance in the first place? I try to remember everything the Guildmaster told us about his sister. The town people didn't accept her. The Guildmaster said people considered his sister to be strange. They didn't like her, and that's why they didn't make more of an effort to search for her after her disappearance. It's because of the way the people of Lightshire treated you, isn't it? They didn't accept you.
Did he tell you that?
Yes.
The whole town didn't like you? But why?
As if that's unbelievable. She casts a dark look in Aiko's direction as she says it, and Aiko lowers her head. She must be thinking about their numerous arguments over Shiori being a supposed traitor. The way people treat Shiori might be similar to how they treated Amira. Now that we've met her, I bet I can guess the reason why. It's because of your ascendant magic, isn't it? Mira meets my gaze for a moment, then nods.
Bravo, Hayato. I knew you were smart.
Mira looks past us in the distance, as though she's seeing the past instead of the present. When she speaks again, her voice is low and quiet.
Long ago, many people had ascendant magic. Now it's all but forgotten.
That's true. Dr. Takazawa was amazed even by the small amount of magic in the water of the sacred spring, and Takaji didn't understand his powers. There might not be anyone else in the world with power like Mira's.
I didn't know my powers were unusual. How could I? To me, it was natural to talk to monsters. They were my friends, and I spent time with them. You can imagine how this looked to people of Lightshire.
Not good. She lets out a bitter laugh.
To them, I was as good as a monster myself. Was it really that bad? Other children weren't allowed to play with me. No one talked to me. Everyone did their best to avoid me, and they said things about me. I don't know why they let me here, since they considered me a monster. Maybe they thought I was too stupid to understand. What kinds of things? Some claimed I was a changeling, a monster child switched at birth for my parents' real daughter. Others told stories of how I'd kill anyone who crossed me. A few swore I could lead an army of monsters, and brave warriors would have to kill me.
Another harsh laugh escapes her.
I suppose that last one came true.
So because they hated you, you decided to kill them all?
No. I thought if I disappeared, they'd feel guilty for how they treated me. So I asked a few dark wolves to stage an attack on the town. During the attack, I faked my own disappearance and hid with my monster friends. I waited for the people of Lightshire to realize that the person they hated so much was just a little girl who might be gone forever.
My heart sinks. The Guildmaster talked about the battle's aftermath too. It didn't go the way Mira wanted it to.
But they didn't. They were glad it was me instead of someone else. They were happy I was gone.
That matches what the Guildmaster told us about how no one would send out a search party. The search parties he wanted, arguing with her about how the townspeople felt won't do any good. I hesitate to choose my words with care. They were wrong to treat you that way. Still, that doesn't mean you should make the Dark Wolves kill them.
What would you have done? Forgive and forget? Huh.
Despite my attempt to be careful, I have enraged her again.
They don't deserve my forgiveness. If they want to treat me as a monster, then I'll be that monster.
She points an accusing finger in my direction.
I thought you would understand me, Hayato. You're an outsider. You don't hold the same prejudices these people have. More importantly, you know what it's like to be lonely. You know how terrible that feels. Why aren't you on my side?
Mira. Before I can think of a way to reason with her, she rounds on Chise.
What about you? Your friend left you. Imagine an entire town making you an outcast. Our situations aren't the same at all. Your loneliness ate away at you inside, so you forced yourself to become hard and cold, focused only on your mission. Can't you understand my pain? Quite honestly, I don't want to understand someone willing to wipe out a town for the sake of petty revenge. Then what about your friend? Then what your friend said about you is true. You really do care only about yourself.
Chise flinches, but Aiko steps forward.
I don't think that's it. It's not that we don't sympathize with you, but you're as bad as she is. Huh? You believe all the stories, don't you? My friends watched you. Once you started searching for me, they say you believed adventurers are bound by certain types of destiny, that whether someone lives or dies, or whether they're loyal or a traitor, depends on rules of fate. Well, I don't entirely know anymore. When you came to Lightshire, if you met a child who spent her free time with monsters, what would you have thought? Would you have become her friend?
Aiko cringes.
Of course you wouldn't. You would have run away and let her all alone, too scared to take a chance on someone like that. This is ridiculous.
Shiori sounds like she's run out of patience entirely.
You've got some monsters about to kill everyone in town, and you're trying to take the moral high ground with us?
Mira lifts her chin and glares at Shiori.
You, I see it in your eyes. You can't wait to destroy me. Hypocrite, you of all people should be on my side.
Me?
Yes, you, the powerful mage with a ruined village in her past, a girl no one wants to journey with, and because they've condemned you for something you couldn't help, you've seen their judgment firsthand. That doesn't mean I want them dead. All you've done is proven them right. What?
I've had enough of this nonsense. She lifts her hands. We fought enough battles together that I can tell she's about ready to attack Mira with her magic. We should probably try to reason with Mira. You know, she doesn't really seem like a lot of this is directly her fault. I'll try to reason. I step in between them. Wait a minute, Mira.
Hayato.
We don't have to fight.
Have you changed your mind? You'll help me after all?
No, but I want you to think about this. Things are changing. People know about Ascendant magic now. There is even a guy, Takachi, who recently discovered his powers. I bet he'd love to talk to you about it.
After everything I told you, you want me to give up?
Don't think of it that way. Think of it as finding a different solution to the problem.
It won't change anything.
Sure it will. A lot of people might feel the same way, but you'll have us and Takachi, and of course your brother.
The last thing I want is my brother's company.
What? But he...
I've had enough of this. If you won't let me get my revenge, then I'll have to defeat you here. Watch out!
The Dark Wolves lunge forward while Mira retreats a few steps.
Kick!
Shiori launches a fireball at the monsters about to attack Aiko, and I fight the second one.
How dare you come here and kill my friends?
Don't act like we're the bad guys here.
Come, my friends. Avenge your fallen companions and protect me.
More Dark Wolves run into the room. I use the skills I learned from leveling up to protect the others. I haven't had as much experience as I would have liked, but it works perfectly. As I take hits, Aiko heals me. We're a team now, a true party of adventurers. No one can stop us. Still, I feel a twinge of regret as we fight. The Dark Wolves are trying to kill us. They won't respond when we defeat them, either. Before, I considered them mindless monsters, but it's a little more complicated than that. They're fighting for us, for Mira's sake. She's the one we need to stop. We can fight all the Dark Wolves in the world, but that won't be as effective as simply stopping their mastermind. They might still attack us out of revenge, but the direct attacks on Lightshire will stop. Someone needs to reach Mira. Shiori nods and sends a stream of ice towards her, but it strikes an invisible barrier around her and falls harmlessly to the ground.
What was that? She must have some sort of shield up. Remember how skillfully she handles summoning magic. We'll have to worry more about ascendancy alone. Yeah. What can we do? Someone needs to get close enough to attack her physically. It should probably be Hayato.
Me?
Chise's right. You have the highest defense of any of us. We can keep the Dark Wolves off your back, but you'll have the best chance of reaching her without being injured.
All right.
Be careful.
I will be. Sword in hand, I run forward past the Dark Wolves. A few turn to chase me, but Chise lunges forward and stops them. As I make my way towards Mira, Shiori and Aiko attack with magic to keep most of the Dark Wolves away from me.
Stop it.
Mira, listen to us.
Yeah.
Now she looks less like a dangerous enemy and more like the lonely girl she seemed to be when we first met. Every time the Dark Wolves relent, Shiori tries to attack her directly. Keeping up her shield, giving instructions through the Dark Wolves, and staying away from me takes its toll on Mira. At last I reach her. A few of the Dark Wolves start towards us, but she lifts her hand.
No, keep attacking the others.
Then she looks at me.
What now? Are you going to kill me?
I don't want to.
But you will.
Why does it have to be this way? Can't you set aside your revenge?
Again with this?
Just listen to me. Even if you can't forgive the town, for your brother's sake, you should.
No.
But you at least owe it to him to.
I don't owe my brother anything.
The vehemence in her voice makes me take a step back. Something's wrong here. Is there a reason why you're angry with him?
A reason? He never loved me either. Oh, he took care of me, but when I disappeared, he didn't even look for me.
He didn't know how to fight. He asked people to form search parties.
And when they refused, he was so sad over his dead sister that he immediately started organizing adventurers into a guild. He didn't even take time to mourn. No, now that he no longer had a troublesome little sister holding him back, he went to every city and town, presenting his ideas and consolidating his power until he set up an entire adventuring system with himself as the head.
Wait, that's what this is about? Then she has no idea what the Guildmaster's true motivations were. He did all that for you.
What?
Your brother couldn't look for you on his own, so he created a system that would give adventurers incentives for completing quests. Since the Dark Worlds seem unstoppable, he at least wanted a fighting force that could protect Lightshire and get revenge.
Revenge? Because of me? Don't be absurd.
It's the truth. She glares at me for a moment longer, then waves her hand at the attacking Dark Wolves.
Fall back for now.
The monsters stop their attacks against Shiori, Aiko, and Chise and slink to the corners of the throne room. They watch us all with unblinking stares. Mira turns back to me.
I think you're lying.
My brother benefited from my disappearance, and from the system he set up as Guildmaster. At first we thought that way too. We thought he might be responsible for the attacks, since it seemed like he benefited. But when we confronted him, he told us about his personal vendetta against the Dark Wolves.
Stop. I don't believe you. He wouldn't try to avenge me. I was a burden to him.
Actually, he called you the light in his darkness.
What?
If you hate the people of Lightshire, that's one thing, but the Guildmaster loved you. She shakes her head and stares somewhere past me.
I never planned to attack the town like this, but when even my brother didn't care to look for me, I couldn't take it anymore. All I wanted was to make them all suffer, especially him, if what you're saying is true.
Tears fill her eyes and choke up her voice.
All the things I've done, it was all for nothing.
Slowly, the other three approach us. The Dark Wolves watch, but without a single signal from Mira, they don't do anything.
What? What am I going to do now? Please don't send the Dark Wolves to attack Lightshire anymore. No, I suppose I shouldn't.
A slight hysterical laugh escapes her.
They'll stay here with me, forever and ever. What else is there for me? Nothing.
You don't have to stay here alone. You could go back.
Go back? What could I possibly say? Would I tell him my brother it was all a misunderstanding? A misunderstanding? Even if he did hate you, it wouldn't be enough to justify what you did. Calm down, Shiori. No, after everything she did to Lightshire and all the lives she destroyed, we can't pretend it never happened. Of course not. Yet there is such a thing as repentance. That's right.
Well, I guess as long as she sincerely tried to atone. Mira stares at them with a disbelieving, almost amazed expression on her face.
Repentance. Do you really think repentance and atonement are possible for someone like me? I hurt a lot of people. Throughout the story quests that made up our world's history, some of the most notable heroes were villains who atoned. And you think I'm one of them? Would anyone believe that? None of that matters. What really matters is how you feel. If you want to repent, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. If you stay here, you'll just be sad. Hasn't there been enough sadness already? But I
know your brother will be happy to see you again. At least to know you're still alive.
But won't it be the same as it was before? Most people will hate me, not because of what I did, but because of what I am.
People are still learning about Ascendant magic again. You'll have friends.
Friends?
When you came to my world, you thought I would make you happy. If having one human friend here in the castle is enough, why not have multiple friends in town?
Or in Highwater, or anywhere else you decide to live. don't have to give up your monster friends either. Maybe you can even help Dr. Takizawa. Dr. Takizawa, the mad scientist? Even you think he's mad?
Her visible frustration makes Aiko burst out laughing, and the tension breaks. Even Mira laughs, although I wonder what she'll make of Dr. Takizawa when they finally meet. I have no doubt that Shiori is right. He'll find Mira absolutely fascinating. Well, what do you say?
Alright, I'll come with you to Lightshire.
When we fly back to Lightshire, it's a much different scene from when we left. Everything is peaceful, with no signs of attacking monsters or desperate adventurers. A few people look up as we pass, but if they realize we had something to do with it, they don't comment on it. I look around for any of our allies, but they're nowhere to be seen. We should check the town hall. The town hall is crowded. Dozens of adventurers are turning in quests. Some the side quests that became available a few days ago, and others quests for defending the town against the attack.
Did these people really use my attack as an opportunity to earn money and items? Maybe the guildmaster wants to reward them for doing a good job. Why did I agree to come back here?
I finally spot the guildmaster from across the room, with Dr. Takizawa and High Cleric Dinsei, just as he notices us. He takes a calm step forward, then his eyes widen and he nearly knocks people down in his haste to reach us.
It can't be. Hello, brother.
Mira, you're alive! He dashes forward and hugs his sister before turning to us.
You've done more than I could have ever expected. Not only stopped at the Dark Wolves, you also saved Mira. I don't know how to thank you.
You don't have to. We did what we thought was right.
Since the Dark Wolves retreated, I assume the attacks are over, yes? You found the person responsible? Who was it? What did they want?
I meet Mira's gaze, and she shakes her head.
I'll tell him.
Okay.
Why don't you want Hayato and the others to tell me? I want to talk to you about it in private. But, well, if that's what you want, then that's fine. I'm just so happy you're alive. Thank you. And for doubting you. And other things. I don't understand. We'll talk about it later. All right?
He doesn't seem bothered by the lack of information. He seems downright giddy to see his sister again. I wonder how he'll take it when he learns the truth. I hope they really do learn to understand each other. Dr. Takizawa and Ninsei hung back at first, probably to let them reunite with Mira alone, but now they join us as well. By the way, I haven't seen Takachi and Kasumi yet. Where are they?
Oh, they're still in town. I believe they're buying supplies.
Supplies?
For the celebration.
You didn't think we'd let people save the town and not thank you with a celebration, didn't you? The thought of a party never even occurred to me.
I think I'll join them. Please excuse me.
She hurries out of the town hall.
Before you leave us as well, Hayato, may we have a word with you?
Me? Sure, all right.
If you need me, I'll be at the inn. Now that I survived our quest, I need to start honoring my double duel. I need to start honing my double duel skills.
Doesn't she do that constantly anyway? As she leaves, Shiori stretches.
Well, unless you need me for this conversation, I think I'll take a walk. Thank the gods for our success. See how things look outside the town. I'll be around.
As they leave, I look at Ninsei. What did you want to talk to me about?
Dr. Takizawa and I have been discussing the situation, and we think that between the power of the gods, magic, and science, mostly science, mind you. Yes, well, don't think it's sacrilegious. The gods invented science.
I am aware of that.
Science.
Are you through?
Possibly.
As I was saying, I think we'll be able to create a portal to send you back to your world. His words slam into me. My own world? I can go back? I knew it might come up, but I didn't expect it to be this soon. What am I going to do? I haven't had time to think this over. My thoughts feel scrambled after the confrontation with Mira. I can't focus.
You don't have to decide right away. Think it over. If you decide to return home, we can get you there. However, I'm not sure you'll ever be able to return. We still need to look at a few things before we know for sure.
Oh.
So, don't make any hasty decisions. Also, if there's any unfinished business you have to attend to, I suggest you take care of it. For example, he coughs and appears faintly embarrassed. You become quite close to your party members, I assume. If you have any particularly strong feelings for one of them, well, if someone is very special to you, this is the sort of decision you should discuss with them.
Right. Anyway, we just wanted to let you know. Thank you. They walk back to the other side of the room, and I rub my head. Going home? Possibly leaving this world behind forever? This is all happening a little too fast. I look up again and see that Mira and the Guildmaster have started talking to Ninsei and Dr. Takizawa. To my surprise, Mira seems to be having an animated conversation with the scientist. Maybe those two will get along after all. However, I might not be here to see it. Well, I can figure that out later, once I've thought everything over. For now, I should take Ninsei's advice. This isn't the time to keep my feelings to myself. Okay, so we can say, I'm in love with Shiori, which we've been doing most of the choices to benefit her. Say I'm in love with Aiko. I'm in love with Chisei, and I've made amazing friends here. So if this was a manga or an anime, then, you know, I would be a completely clueless main character, misunderstand everything that all the female characters said, that could be construed as, you know, representations of affection, and I would go, hey, we're all friends. But, you know, I hate every single manga and anime that does that, so let's just go with Shiori. At first, we didn't get along very well, but things have changed so much since then. Without her, I would have been lost, and she proved to be a strong ally and a loyal friend. If I've come to think of her as more than a friend, I need to tell her. She said she'd be around, which doesn't give me much to go on. Still, Lightshire is a small town. I should be able to find her. There's no sign of her here. She mentioned thanking the gods, but when I peek in through the church doors, it's also empty. She also said something about checking out how things looked outside the town. It looks like that will be my next stop. Shiori? A nearby whammer explodes in a burst of fire.
Hayato?
All the battling we did earlier wasn't enough for you?
I'm restless. I keep thinking about what Mira said, about how we aren't so different. I might know what she went through better than anyone else did, and like her, I'm not so sure it will change.
It isn't easy for people to change their minds.
You said it.
She shakes her head.
Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come out here to listen to me ramble. What's up?
I need to talk to you about something important.
Oh, does this have something to do with your conversation with High Cleric Ninsei and Dr. Takizawa?
Sort of. They think they might be able to send me home.
Are you going to do it?
I don't know yet.
I guess you came to get my opinion. Well, I can't tell you what to do. If you'll be happier in your own world, then you should do it. If not, you should stay here. It's your decision to make.
Do you know what I'd miss most if I left?
Don't tell me it's that goofy card game Aiko likes.
Ha! No.
What then?
You.
Huh?
I've been thinking things over, and I think I've fallen in love with you.
You love me?
I've never seen Shiori look and sound so embarrassed before. My heart pounds as I wait for her to say something else.
I feel like a total sap for saying something like this, but I might feel something like that for you too.
You do? Really?
I said might.
For a moment, I'm afraid she might hit me in the head with a fireball, but then she laughs and relaxes.
I just got used to having friends again. I like you a lot, but how can I tell if it's love or not?
I don't know. I'm not exactly an expert.
Well, when in doubt, do what Dr. Takizawa would do.
Wait, what? I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
Apply the scientific method and experiment. Kiss me.
What?
You're not into kissing?
Well, that's not what I meant.
Then go on, kiss me.
A little nervous, I step closer to Shiori and put my arms around her. I lean close and gently kiss her on the lips.
That wasn't very passionate.
Despite the admonishment, her voice is soft. Her lips are still millimeters away from mine, and I feel her breath with every word. Should I be passionate if we're experimenting?
Haven't you ever listened to Dr. Takizawa talk about science? He's full of passion.
I'd rather not think about Dr. Takizawa while kissing you.
What would you rather think about?
You?
Then let's try this again.
I push away my worries. We're out in the field with an audience of whammers. Shiori isn't sure if she returns my feelings. We can't have a relationship if we live in separate worlds and concentrate only on her. All of the tension of the past few weeks wells up in me, and this time I kiss her firmly, fiercely, with all the emotion of knowing I might go home and never seeing her again. Shiori returns my kiss with the passion I'd expect from someone who can obliterate a field of monsters with the wave of her hand. The moment stretches on forever, but when it ends, it feels far too soon.
I still don't know if I love you, but I certainly like kissing you.
Shiori? She laughs.
I want to give it a try. You truly changed my life, Hayato, and I'd be lost without you. Let me see if the suspected traitor and the hero from another world belong together.
All right. She reaches out and I take her hand. We slowly walk back towards Lightshire together.
Do you remember when we picked blueberries together? We should do that again sometime. Not for a quest, just for us.
I'd like that. She's quiet for a while. When she speaks again, there's an unusual note in her voice.
Do they have blueberries in your world?
Of course.
What about science?
It's not quite like Dr. Takizawa's form of science, but there are plenty of scientists.
That's good to hear.
Why?
If you decide to return to your world, I'll go with you.
Her statement makes me reel back, stunned. You will?
I've thought a lot about leaving Lightshire, and what greater adventure could there be than visiting another world? I thought about trying to find the person who destroyed my village, but after seeing Mira, I don't want to become consumed by revenge like she was. Besides, I'd miss a lot of things if I leave, but I'd miss you more if you left without me.
Speechless, all I can do is squeeze her hand in mine. I was lucky to meet someone as wonderful as Shiori. No matter what I decide to do, I'll have her by my side. As we walk back to town together, that makes the coming decision feel a lot less terrifying. Everyone comes for the celebration the next day. There's a festive mood in the air, although by now everyone close to me knows about the decision I have to make. Even Mira celebrates, although she keeps herself slightly apart from the townspeople. A few whammers seem to have snuck in, harmlessly enjoying the party with everyone else, and I wonder if she invited them. Ah, there you are, Hayato. Your Holiness. His sudden arrival startles me. I didn't think I'd have to make my choice so soon. He could be here to celebrate, but the purposeful way he walks towards me suggests otherwise. I have good news. What is it? When Dr. Takizawa and I worked out the details of sending you back to your own world, there was one factor we didn't take into account. A resentful yet atoning factor determined to do better. At first I stare at him. What does that even mean? Then I look over to where Mira stands by the guildmaster. Ninsei follows my gaze and smiles. That's right. Mira's knowledge of summoning magic is far greater than mine. With her help, we're certain we can facilitate trips to and from your world. You mean... Yes, it will no longer be a one-way journey. I don't encourage heavy traffic between our worlds, but as long as we can set up safe locations in each world for you to travel from, you should be able to visit as often as you wish. That changes things. I don't have to give up my world or this one. I can return home and visit here, or live here and still visit home. The shadow of doubt hanging over my heart ever since he presented me with the choice lifts. It doesn't need to be a hard choice. No matter which I pick, I can always go back. Thank you. It's Mira you should thank. As if she heard her name even from across the square, Mira leaves her brother and joins us.
Talking about me?
He says I'll be able to travel back and forth between this world and mine now, thanks to your summoning magic.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
It's no big deal.
It is to me. It's more than I could have hoped for. It's a miracle.
Consider step one of my redemption, then. Now, since we've made so much progress, we actually have everything all set up. Whenever you'd like to travel to your world, just let us know. I can travel between worlds at will. Think of it as if we will open a door for you to pass through, close it behind you, and open it again when you wish to return.
She pauses.
And if you wish to bring others with you, in either direction, that is also possible.
He doesn't seem entirely pleased with the possibility. I suppose it carries the risk of the two worlds will learn of each other beyond the handful of us who already know and change things forever. Well, I'd only considered it in terms of myself before, but this is a major deal. However, I don't see it as such a bad thing. Two worlds existing alongside each other in isolation, entirely cut off from each other? No, it's better this way. The bridge between the worlds opens so many opportunities. My nervousness over the decision has driven me to avoid my friends for much of the celebration, but now I need to share the good news. Excuse me, there's someone I need to talk to. I found Shiori near the fountain, arguing with Dr. Takizawa.
That hypothesis doesn't make any sense at all.
Bah! After all this time, you still understand so little about science.
I'm not the one who doesn't understand. You're the...
They both look up as I approach.
Hayato.
Am I interrupting?
No, but you're welcome to join our scientific debate.
As if this one understands the glory of science. I'll pass on the debate. I just want to share the good news.
Good news?
Thanks to Mira, it won't be a one-way trip to my world. We'll be able to go back and forth as often as we want.
Really? That's great.
That is the power of science. I'm not sure Mira's methods qualify as science, but then again, I'm not sure Dr. Takizawa's methods are technically science either. I ignore it. So if you still want to see my world, I mean, it's not as big of a decision now. Well, we don't need to decide right away if we're staying or leaving.
I like that.
She steps closer to me.
I'm looking forward to seeing your home.
So much sentimentality. I'm getting out of here. He throws his hands in the air and walks away, shaking his head the entire time, and Shiori bursts out laughing.
I guess Dr. Takizawa isn't much of a romantic.
Are you?
Science and sentiment both have a place. Let's take the celebration somewhere private, and you'll see just how romantic I can be.
I smile and put my arms around her. I like that idea. It could have been terrifying to wake up in a new world. The Dark Wolves could have killed me, or I could have been as lonely here as I was at home, or I could have been forced to leave behind an entire world. Instead, coming here turned out to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me. In an odd way, I have Mira to thank for everything. She summoned me here. Her threat united me with Shiori, Aiko, and Chisei, and she made it possible to travel between worlds. She did a lot of terrible things, but I can't hate her. Part of me will always feel grateful to Mira. Mira and her Ascendant Heart. 1 month later.
There you are. Any luck?
Still nothing. I had no idea buying a house would be such a complicated process. Since I've decided to mainly live here, I can't just stay at the inn forever. Buying a house in this world appears to involve a convoluted series of tasks that require me to do many quests before anyone will even broach the subject.
Is it different in your world?
It's more a matter of money. Back home, as long as you have enough money, you can buy a house.
Interesting.
After all the time I've spent here, the rules of this world finally make sense. Thanks to Mira's powers, my friends have learned more about my world too. Now, when I don't understand something, it's easier to explain why.
I remember when I first came here, it took quite a long time to find my own place to stay.
I imagine it must have been even tougher for you.
Yeah.
Immediately, I wish I hadn't said it that way. When Shiori came to Lightshire, she just lost her entire home and family, and people here decided she was untrustworthy.
Hayato?
Yeah?
Do you think we could...
She trails off and shakes her head.
Never mind. It was a silly thought.
No, go on. What were you going to ask?
Do you think we could investigate what happened to my village?
Her request takes me by surprise. So much time has passed since that incident. How could we ever find answers? Then again, years had passed since Mira's disappearance and the Dark World's arrival. And we solved that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Light returns to her eyes and she claps her hands into her fist.
But first things first, let's do some quests so we can get you one step closer to having a house. You ready?
Whenever you are. Side by side, we walk through town together.
More and more people have been requesting us specifically for quests lately. I hope that doesn't mean another story quest is coming.
Let's hope not. I bet it's just because we saved the town.
You're probably right. Well, let's go see what quests are available today.
Town Hall is as active as ever. People still whisper when they see us, but nowadays the gossip isn't all bad.
Oh, look, there's an NPC quest posted by Dr. Takizawa.
Well, let me guess. That's the one you want to do.
Of course, we need to help him in his pursuit of science. Besides, don't forget how much he did for us.
True, while Dr. Takizawa can be a bit hard to take, we might not have been able to find Mira without his analysis and airship. Alright, let's see what he wants. When we arrive at the laboratory, Dr. Takizawa's dubious assistant greets us at the door.
Welcome to Dr. Takizawa's laboratory. I will tell him you're here.
I'm right here.
Dr. Takizawa, you have visitors.
Yes, I can see that.
Science.
Well, this one still needs work, but that's to be expected in the pursuit of science.
Science.
Well, I'm not surprised he stopped the Guardian to shout about science.
Now, what brings you here today? Does another city need saving? Have you uncovered another ancient form of magic?
Or perhaps you'd like to participate in my experiments.
Actually, we came here because of this NPC quest.
Oh, of course. I wish there were more adventurers like you, always eager to work hard in the name of science. Science. Now, what I need for you to do is take this and sprinkle it into a wide clearing where you have plenty of space to fight. He holds out a small vial, which Shiori accepts. What sort of clearing? I'm more concerned about the plenty of space to fight part of his instructions. Anything is fine as long as you have enough room. Now, what exactly is going to happen? If my theory is correct, this will summon a behemoth. A what? Behemoth. Do try to keep up. Anyway, once you've summoned it, I'd like you to capture it. Capture it? Yes, this is what I said. Capture it and bring it here. I have a number of experiments I'd like to conduct, especially now that we have access to a whole new world. He's completely nuts. This sounds like it's going to be tough. Is it really worth it? Of course. You'll be advancing our pursuit of science. Science. Dr. Takizawa, can I ask you something? Certainly. He looks like he's all prepared to go into a lecture on science. What is in here? Instead of putting the vial in her inventory, like she normally would, she's still holding it. Is she actually concerned about one of his experiments for change? Oh, that? It's a chemical designed to mimic naturally occurring compounds that produce a distinct odor behemoths find irresistible. I see. Well, let's go, Hayato. We have a quest to do. But... Shiori is already on her way out the door, so I shake my head and hurry after her. Shiori? What's wrong? Are we really going to do a quest like this? I know we'll respond if it goes badly, but still. I'm going to do it with or without you. Why? Just to help Dr. Takizawa? No, it's... She lets out a sigh and holds up the vial again. He's right. This stuff has a very distinct smell. As soon as he handed it to me, I remembered smelling something like this on the day my village was destroyed. What? Do you think it's connected? I don't know, but I can't ignore it. His experiments might bring me one step closer to knowing what really happened that day. If that's her reason for wanting to do this quest, I guess I have no choice. I draw my sword. Let's do it. Thanks, Hayato. She pours the contents of the vial into the grass and then steps back to stand by my side. Together, we wait for the monster to arrive. When we fight like this, we're an unstoppable team. I know we'll find answers about Shiori's village someday. Together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Oh my goodness. We're finally at the end. Yeah, so that was Ascendant Hearts on Nintendo Switch. You know, I really like it. I think it's a very nice, lighthearted story, but with enough serious undertones and enough, you know, kind of moral quandaries in it that makes it more elevated than a typical lighthearted RPG would do. You know, I like the dialogue. I think it was pretty well translated. A couple things here and there didn't quite make sense. I like the art. The music's sort of generic, but you know, I'm not here to listen to a concert. I think I would probably go through this again with some different choices, pick some different love interests, and see what happens after that. But I'd say the very first playthrough was a lot of fun, and I would certainly look into the developer's next visual novel, and I'd certainly be happy to support that if they release something. I think visual novels are a very tough thing. Getting something that is interesting enough, along with the visuals and the sound and the sound effects and potentially voice actors, although this game didn't have voice actors, but potentially getting all that stuff worked out, I mean, it's incredibly difficult. Even getting this much done without voice acting, which I wish it had, it's an incredible achievement and something that really can't be overlooked very lightly. You know, it's not a one-man job, and I really appreciate the developers for putting something out here that I just had a fun time playing and put a smile on the face. And you know, we need more smiles on faces nowadays more than ever. Although you probably don't want mine, it looks a little funny. I also like the fact that they added an epilogue, which is something which I really like that Eastern stories do. You know, in a Western story, once you defeat the antagonist, then the story's over. You never find out what happens at the end. But in Eastern stories, or things that generally come out of Japan or Korea or Taiwan, They always add a little epilogue afterwards to let you know what happened to the characters, and I always appreciate that. You know, you can still set up a sequel, but just let us know that things worked out and they're okay. You know, I appreciate that quite a bit. Anyway, this is audap. You've been watching Ascendant Hearts on Nintendo Switch. Make sure to purchase this. It's available on multiple platforms: mobile, PlayStation, Switch, PC. I think PC. I'll have to double check. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.